let's talk about Lord Marrowgar, the first boss of Icecrown Citadel. Now, Lord Marrowgar, as I said, is the first boss of ICC. He's a flying skeleton thingy with a few heads and a giant axe. And he has two phases, one main phase and another secondary phase. Or an off phase, I think is better to call it. In the main phase, Lord Marrowgar will attack the tank while periodically shooting flame walls and spiking players in bones. It is important to avoid the flames and DPS down the spikes quickly. Now for DPS, of course, except hunters, you have to stack on top of the boss to avoid the flames as they start a little away from the boss. DPS down the bone spikes as fast as possible. Now, my dear hunters, you gotta stay together as close to the boss as you can be. Avoid the flames as they appear and DPS down the bone spikes as fast as possible. Why do I have to say this? I don't know, but this is what the site tells me. Healers stack on top of the boss to avoid the flames as they start a little away from the boss. Main tanks. You have to face Lord Marrowgar away from the raid towards the right of the room. You can run along the right wall to get into a position before the pool. Easily. Yeah, you can do that easily. For the off tanks, stack on the main tank to help soak the cleave damage. Now let's talk about his second phase, which is the more interesting one. This is his Bone Storm, one of the most classic abilities that Lord Marrowgar has. During Bone Storm, Lord Marrowgar will move around the room, dropping flames that spread out from him in an X shape. Here's what you gotta do. For DPS, you have to avoid the flames. For healers, avoid the flames. Tanks, avoid the flames. Stay around the same place so Marrowgar comes back to the same place when he finishes the Bone Storm. Off tanks, you have to avoid the flames and stay near the main tank when Bone Storm finishes. So if you understand this, during Bone Storm, everybody has to avoid the flames, okay? I've had that, I went through that, we all died to the flames. It's a simple lesson that we got in vanilla. Stay out of the fire. What's so hard to understand? And this is Lord Marrowgar. Thanks to the site in the description below for making this guide possible.